The Manchester City squad for the 2025-2026 season is terrifying. It's scary. It's unfair to say the least. Borderline illegal, maybe. Actually, might be illegal given the 115 charges that I guess we just never got the conclusion to. You may as well add a 116th charge, this time for Pep Guardiola, the way he's probably just going to oil up his robot striker and drop 12 past Sunderland at home for absolutely no reason at all, other than just to terrorize this newly promoted club, ignoring all humanity and Geneva conventions just because he can. That's the kind of manager this bald freak is. But even if they are doing shady things behind the books, I'd say we just go ahead and deduct another 10 points from Everton and call it even Stevens, because nothing should be stopping the generational football that Pep Guardiola is putting together with Manchester City this year. It is going to be so good. Just take a look at this team, for example. Omar Marmoush up top is incredible. You've got Oscar Bob, who is back from injury. Phil Foden is just 1 year removed from being the EPL Player of the Year, and I think Joško Gvardiol is heavily underrated. You add depth pieces like Ilkay Gundogan, James McAtee, and Jack Grealish, who aren't even starting here, and this team is pretty incredible. And here's the kicker. This is what Manchester City's team would look like this year if their starting 11 didn't even exist. I would bet that the second string team for Manchester City could qualify for European competition in some capacity, whether that be Europa League or Conference League, whatever. I just don't think they would struggle that much in the Premier League. Now, would they win it? No. But I think this team would. You've got players like Erling Haaland, who is maybe the best striker in the world still. I think so. Ryan Cherki, one of the best young stars in the world who they just signed, can play both on the right wing and at center attacking mid. Guys like Reinders, who they just signed as well, becoming a double pivot with Ballon d'Or winner Rodri, who is returning from injury. He's back during the Club World Cup. And Ruben Diaz, one of the best center backs in the world. Ederson, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. I'm saying the word best a lot because this is the best team going into the 2025-26 season in the Premier League. All right, I'll take a step back because we do have to acknowledge how poor the last year was for Manchester City. Now, they did finish third in the Premier League, but as Pep Guardiola calls that, catastrophic failure. They also lost to Tottenham Hotspur, 17th place Tottenham Hotspur, 2 times that year, once to get knocked out of the FA Cup. They got slapped around by Liverpool, slapped around by Arsenal, lost to Manchester United. They even tied Southampton, who almost had the record for the lowest amount of points in the league. All that capped off by winning 0 trophies on the year. You could argue it's Pep Guardiola's worst season as a manager ever. But to hilariously cap off the 2024-25 campaign for City, they were knocked out of the Club World Cup by Al Hilal, a Saudi Arabian side. They said, "You think you got oil money? Take a look at us."
You think oil is your ally? You merely adopted the oil. I was born in it.
This has stressed out Pep Guardiola so much that I think he's actually losing hair. He's getting balder somehow, and that should make the other 19 teams in the Premier League at least a little bit afraid. Like, I don't think you guys realize that the last time Pep Guardiola's Manchester City finished third in the league, he went on to win 6 out of the next 7 Premier League titles. The last time he finished third in the league, he went on to score 100 points the next season. The last time Manchester City got clowned in Europe, he went on to win a treble next season after signing who is probably a robot at striker and turning Ruben Diaz into prime Maldini. And he's just gone out of his way to have a revolutionary signing, which is a left back that actually plays left back. I think that's something we haven't seen from him in quite some time. This man means business. Let's start with Ryan Ait-Nouri, the brand new Manchester City signing that they picked up from Wolverhampton Wanderers for about 37 million euros. This is a big signing for Manchester City because it fills a gap that was there for the entire year. I'm surprised they didn't address it in January because they started the season running a 3-back system, which put Gvardiol at left center back, which is a pretty good position for Gvardiol. I think it might actually be his best position. But once Pep Guardiola saw a lack of form and tried to change the system to a 4-back, well, they didn't really have a good left back to go to. So Gvardiol had to just do at left back. And despite the fact that I think Gvardiol could maybe play anywhere, maybe striker could even be his best position, the amount of goals he scores. But he is a left center back, and the only other option they had at left back was Nico O'Reilly, who was inconsistent at best. Ait Nouri is going to be a starting left back for Manchester City in a lot of games this year. He was spectacular for Wolves this season, and I think it is exactly what is needed to solidify an already pretty good backline, but just needs a little bit more to get over the edge in terms of teams like Liverpool and Arsenal. Coincidentally, Ait Nouri is not the only man named Ryan with Algerian roots getting transferred to Manchester City for 37 million euros this summer, because Cherki is also on his way for about the exact same transfer fee. And this time, I think it might be the most ridiculous transfer fee we've ever seen, or at least seen in the last couple of years. Because in a market where players are constantly getting sold for over 100 million euros to other clubs, Cherki going for just 36, 37 million euros is a steal. That is unbelievably underpriced. It is crazy that Manchester City were the only team really going for Cherki, because Dortmund had an opportunity to pick him up last year for even less, and Şahin and Zorc really did not seem interested, and they're going to regret it, because Cherki is the real deal. He has already been proving himself not just in the French league, but for the French national team, and now we're going to get to see it in the Premier League with Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne is not an easy player to replace, but just like Pep Guardiola said about Sergio Aguero,
we cannot replace him. We cannot.
He then went out and found the Norwegian god Erling Haaland. So going out and getting Ryan Cherki might not be a one-to-one replacement for Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't think that there's a more perfect signing to make right now than the 22-year-old with the sky as the limit in Ryan Cherki. But it doesn't just stop there, because he must have taken a small trip back home to Catalonia just to visit the black magic juju he has in his basement there to pick up Thierry Reinders from Milan as well. Because the biggest hole in the Manchester City squad actually wasn't left back, it wasn't center attacking mid, it was center defensive mid over the course of the 2024-25 campaign. Rodri tearing his ACL was irreplaceable. The Ballon d'Or winner, even with players like Mateo Kovacic on the squad, just could not get the job done. This is a player that had to slot into a single pivot system where Rodri was playing alone and try to fill his boots, and it just wasn't possible, especially for a player like Mateo Kovacic, who normally played in a more advanced midfield position, not attacking midfield, but more of like an 8, and he had to fill the 6, and you can tell that Manchester City just were not the same without Rodri. They tried to pick up Nico Gonzalez from Porto in the January window. It really helped, but it wasn't enough. Now as Rodri returns and Thierry Reinders, who can both play the 6 and that advanced position in the 8, it is perfect for if Rodri were to ever get hurt again, but also it adds more strength to the starting 11 than a player like Mateo Kovacic or Nico Gonzalez has to offer. Reinders is a player who is tearing up the Serie A and can only offer even more as he goes to a team like Manchester City with all of the firepower around him. So while rival fans are laughing right now, as they should be after Manchester City's past year, it may not last for long, because the 2025-26 season is not just a season. It's Pep Guardiola's villain origin story, and this man, he's not normal. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to Nitro Football if you haven't yet. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.